Alrighty, so we'll call the meeting to order. And as always, we work from an agenda, and I didn't really get any new agenda items from anybody other than this continuation of the comprehensive plan. Normally, our first order of business will be approval of the minutes, but I think we still have to do some work on the minutes before we'll do that. So we'll do it. We'll be emailing back and forth some changes and additions, and then we'll bring it to next month's meeting. So you'll have to be, don't hold your breath, but you'll have the.
I'll be here for that one.
I know, but you'll be able to see it online.
Okay.
So, okay, but don't hold your breath because you'll die.
Because I won't know what's going to happen. Oh my God.
You won't know what's going to happen. All righty. Councilman Hoffman, do you have any updates for us? Any happenings, anything from
Sure, I'll talk about a few things. The town council at our July 2nd meeting, we passed a resolution establishing non-residential base service connection rates for the water and sewer service. So not for residences, but businesses that would come into town and request, well, that would need water and sewer service. We set base rates for them. And Gary, town manager did a great job. He went around to all the municipalities, put together a whole spreadsheet, because there's a whole boatload of different ways that it can be done, based upon the size of the meter. And I mean, there's just tons of ways to do it. And we came up with a way that we thought works the best for the town. And so we took care of that.
This is for new businesses, not existing businesses.
Say that again?
This is for new businesses.
Well, new, or if they needed to upgrade.
Okay.
Needing to upgrade, we would take into consideration their current capacities and things already, yeah. So we took that on. We're not trying to screw anybody over or anything like that. We just want to make sure it's a fair way to do it. The town council was also discussing whether we want to have the option of entering into a development rights and responsibility agreements, a DRRA. I'm sure Glenn knows all about those, but and Michelle was here to give us legal counsel on that. If the town wants to do it, we have to have a resolution that says we can do it. And what it is it's a document that lists out specific things that the town is going to request a new developer do, and there's more to it than that. We already use a public works agreement that lists lots of things, but there's some legalities between the two. And so we have to make a decision as the town council of whether we want to have it on the books that we could invoke it. We don't have to. But if we do, then you're kind of handcuffed to the developer to do things. And if the developer was to pull out of that and a new developer came in, they would be tied to that. So there's a lot of thought process. So we had a pretty lengthy discussion about that, and we had some homework to do as well on that. The Maryland 31 project, the replacement of the water lines, progressing well. We haven't had any major issues. You see we're already past the corner and heading down Main Street now, and so they last week removed all the temporary pipe all along Route 31 here, so they are making good progress. We have not received any real complaints from the town citizens. Everything's been going relatively smooth, including the traffic flow as they work during the days. So all's going well there. And anybody that's been keeping track of our American Rescue Plan Act funds, so back during COVID, if you remember, when the government was throwing a lot of money out to all the municipalities to keep things afloat, the town did receive about $1.37 million. We've been using that money. There were some stipulations on it, obviously, but we've been using that money for lots of different projects and things that we've been doing around town. There are some hooks to that money, right? It has to be obligated. That means kind of on the books, ready to be spent, having a contract with somebody, I think by 31 December this year, and then there's maybe a year after that where it has to be spent, or you have to turn it back into the government. So we've been tracking that. we, being the town staff, has been tracking that very closely, and we are on track to have everything allocated and/or spent by the government deadline. So we're in good shape, and that money certainly came in handy for the town to be able to keep a lot of projects moving and a lot of new stuff that we needed to have done. So, and I think that's the major points I wanted to bring up.
Are there any highlights of that 1.5 that you could kind of share, that would we?
So 1.3, it was like 1.37 million. We used parts of it to upgrade the pump stations, so the Blue Ridge pump station. I think we've also used parts of it to do the Atlee Ridge pump station. I think we did some epoxy painting in the hillside well building, the pump station there, the water pump station, not the sewer pump station, where the water comes all through, and did a lot of maintenance in those buildings. And we had to shuffle it around a little bit. We originally had some, big grandiose ideas but keeping all that moving, we ended up, I wouldn't say nickel and diming it, but putting large chunks towards several of those kind of projects. I don't have the list here in front of me. I have a spreadsheet that Gary listed every penny out and all the projects, and it was funny. I just looked at it, but it's in the town council folder, and I didn't bring it.
The majority was for infrastructure?
It had to be for infrastructure things, water and sewer infrastructure type things, and then there was some latitude. You did get some latitude. There was some, I think, municipalities that may even figured out how to buy a vehicle, and depending on how it was going to be used and things like that. And there was just a lot of hooks that you had to do, a lot of reporting during this whole thing. And but the town did a really good job of making sure that that it was allocated and spent. And you have to remember, like, when we go out to bid on these things, we have to use the bid process. So you go out and you have to have multiple people bid. You have to have all that time frame that goes along with the bidders, and then you have to enter into a contract and get that signed to meet these allocation dates. So it's not just like you can, hey, we got 50,000 left, let's run over here and buy. It doesn't work that way. There's a lot of hooks involved in it. So Gary and Dane and the rest of the town staff did a really, really good job of keeping track of that and making sure that we utilize it to its fullest. So.
Thanks. Randolph, you got anything for us?
Yeah, a few things.
All right.
So the housing study is still ongoing. In a meeting we had a few weeks ago, they're planning to bring it to the Planning Commission in September, I believe. So it's wrapping up pretty soon. And Drew is accepting applications for fall amendments for this upcoming year for water and sewer amendments. There was a zoning text amendment that was changed by the board, and it prohibited food processing residue from being stored in ag. So now that's prohibited. And those are all the big things. Oh, the annual report process wrapped up. You guys should be receiving hard copies anytime once they're produced within the next 2 weeks.
Okay, thanks. All right, now I saw Will, and I see something up on the screen, so that
Yes.
means it's working.
It's working.
All right, I'm gonna slide around to the other side. You are welcome to go around too, Dave, if you'd like. All the Daves.
You can sit on that marker.
Oh, I'm okay in the middle.
I'm gonna go to a seat because I'm having trouble.
I don't know how much it helps.
I don't think I did. Yeah, okay. So, based on the conversation from early in July, I wondered if we needed to revisit the annexations.
Not at this time.
Okay. And for reasons passing understanding, I cannot make this zoom any further, so let's try. My mouse is disappearing. Let's see if this works. I would like to make it bigger for you.
Please.
You can get closer if you want.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Okay, so we will go down to start of chapter 6, municipal growth area. And I don't think there are that many changes here because you're grown out. So basically what I have in here is what you've already decided to delete, and then my attempts to fix formatting.
So as far as mapping goes, no change to the boundary.
As them,
Okay.
we did not.
Bless you.
So highlighted is what's deleted?
Highlighted is where I have comments to myself to go back and change things. Let me see if I can change view and make it a little bit more.
Is there a way to change the view to just, this is where it stands right now?
Yes. There you go.
You go to the beginning of the chapter.
Sure.
Yeah, we cut out all the.
It's everything, top of stuff, last. And number 2. That is. Yes.
On the same page now.
Hey, don't worry, I was catching up. Different must be this, just to catch up, sure.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah, I actually just looked at the first and looked at the second, I understand, yeah. Well, I was just asking, Randolph about it our thing is 53. It's a couple of charts, the prices went up, update for us. Randolph is going to get that for us.
Now, we had, you make that one paragraph, that first paragraph that we showed yesterday is 2 paragraphs, where town's policy to manage was the beginning of the second paragraph.
Okay.
I don't really want, I'm by no means in English Scott, I just wondered if we wanted to leave what they had, that's all.
It was probably because I was retro converting from the PDF to the Word, may have been something that I took out.
And then it looks like we had a heading after that, capacity of land area.
Okay,
Um,
here?
Capacity of land area available for development. Yeah, it says capacity of land areas available for development within the municipal corporation, comma, including infill and redevelopment. And then we went into that. So that was kind of listed as a subcategory 3. I think it would be subcategory 2.
Capacity of land area is available for development within the municipal corporation, comma,
Including in-fill and redevelopment.
We didn't even have the first, we got rid of the first one.
So, but I didn't have that, are we getting rid of the numericals then?
Yeah,
I
we,
didn't have a part that's gone.
yeah, we got rid of number one.
I know we got rid of number 1, but I didn't have, we got rid of 2 or 3.
Didn't have it marked down.
Yeah.
okay.
That's why I didn't have it marked out, that's why.
What you have, what
I see what you're saying, because this one is the only one that's gone.
Right.
Two,
two and three stayed.
So,
Two now becomes one.
yeah, under municipal growth, it should really say the relationship to the long-term development policy.
correct, that's.
Okay.
Two goes in.
I mean, I guess we don't have to do the headings, but
Because they're, I mean, this having 2005, we're trying to eliminate some of that old information.
Okay,
And there's that's number 1. So that's number 2.
Yeah. okay,
Number 1 and number,
True. If he can
or
update
number 3
these
becomes number
charts,
2.
okay.
that relates to
Yeah, that-
the potential.
I will fix these headings
All right.
this
And
week.
they were in italicized, so I guess. that's-
Yeah,
yeah, and I had that.
I think when I was
I don't know whether we.
retro converting, I thought it was incomplete sentences.
Yep, yep.
Oh.
Okay, so we're all on the same page now, up till number 2, right? We just added number 2. So we're all looking at in 2005, so I think we need to get that out of there.
Yes.
We can't reference 20-year-old report. I'll tell you that Randolph provided the town, new information to help us with that building life. Right? That those charts you gave Gary and Wayne, we should be able to use for this. So I think we should just make it more generic and say that the town of New Windsor works with the county to have the latest information, keeping our buildable lot inventory up to date or something like that. Because we can't, right, 20-year-old. Right. And then that would go into the
Yeah,
charts,
yeah.
right?
And those designated land uses in that chart are still correct.
Yes.
So Emily Ann, did you catch something that we want to change all that stuff with?
Yeah,
Something
Yeah.
The town of New Windsor works collaboratively with the county's planners to ensure the buildable lot inventory remains.
is it buildable lot or buildable land? Because it's buildable land in the text and you said lot.
Okay, land.
Okay,
Yes. You know,
It's listed residential, how about industrial? Is there,
The inventory includes
Yeah.
all residential, and commercial. Yes.
Buildable,
Yeah.
so that's taken.
that's something that should be incorporated with, of course, there, it just says, it doesn't.
yeah, it says residential in the current draft.
Keep like that, or-
Well, I mean, the maps show,
Yeah,
the maps show the whole growth area boundary and
Yeah.
the buildable area within. My,
yeah, where it says, just says it's available for development, that covers everything.
that's correct,
Yeah.
right, Randolph?
Yeah.
It's just- Right.
So that they simplify the removal of the next two paragraphs, or pretty much. And then the chart.
Okay, so I will remove these. And then do we want to, so that's 3 paragraphs I have highlighted for deletion. I just want to make sure that this is, okay.
I'm showing. Yeah, me too.
And then I had this flagged as potentially no longer accurate.
That, correct.
Yeah, because that
That's
was.
based on the table.
Yeah, and that at the time was including where the reserve would be, and Snyder Summit and all that, which is built out.
Okay.
So that will get updated, so when you're charting the calculations.
Okay. Do we still agree that the town desires to maintain its small town character while continuing to grow modestly? Or is the
Yes.
growth,
Yes,
okay,
that hasn't changed.
I'm assuming the numbers here might change.
I think the rest of this contingent on the table,
Yeah,
it's like the wording is the explanation of the table. The one on page 55 with all the numbering in there, I've got to scratch that.
Yeah,
the schools, et cetera?
Now,
population projection based.
Okay.
it's on 55, could you share that?
Turn on the other and then.
Oh, that, I think I've already taken that table out.
that is what is now section 4, that just gets deleted.
Mhm.
With the whole verbiage after that. So then, section, wasn't here is 5, now 4 is land area. Let's see, there, right, whoop, stop right there, stop. Oh, that's, let's see. Maybe that's what you were referencing.
Let me go back up.
Oh, if we keep on, stop, go, this is Scotia. That paragraph that ends with unique place at the top. Keep going up, keep beginning of that paragraph. Okay, right there, town of Windsor. Right above that is where
Which
would be
is
section
5. Thank you.
5, that's
Okay.
section 4.
Okay.
And you might want to put population growth projections as 3.
No, we can scratch that.
Oh, then this should be 3.
Oh, good point, yeah, that's right, because 3 is the one, the chart.
Yeah.
So that's-
Okay.
I might make that number 5. Oh, you do? Okay, never mind.
Got it. Yeah, I think all those headings got removed when I converted from the PDF.
And then again, this verbiage may change as we look at the table that will go back to. Right there, that India Windsor, we just had to highlight it again. I've got that as scratch,
Okay.
correct?
Yep.
Yeah, it's done. New wastewater. The old new wastewater.
Do you need number 6?
Probably.
Number 4.
That becomes 4.
Yeah.
That's the well, it is right above it. It's right above you.
Okay.
It's already there. For some reason, you kept that one.
There you go.
Perfect.
We got rid of public schools.
So that's got ahead of me. There's a couple of paragraphs prior. We're leaving those all in there.
Once we get to see the
So
chart.
we'll see the chart.
Yeah.
Because best case, they all need to be rewritten.
Yeah.
To go with the chart.
Yeah, I have that we're keeping the public school stuff. We just need to update it with the more accurate zoning.
Because there's no New Windsor Middle anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be Springdale, right?
No. That's not public.
It's, yeah, it would be
Private.
Northwest and Mount Airy.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Well, when you say all we have to do is update it, I don't have any notes of who's not updated, where we get that
Yeah, I can try and call, I mean, I don't know if the school board would have it or who, in terms of enrollment projections.
Yeah, school board would have
Okay,
Yeah, what's the concurrency?
Yeah, concurrency.
Yeah, the concurrence and master plan.
Yeah.
okay.
I think the last time that link to you, well, I sent the link to you.
Okay.
It was what, like 2023, I think. I don't think 2024 was out.
Okay,
Anything I printed out was just, anything I printed out was the emergency services. I thought I printed.
Showing that number is the number of students. Is that what that's showing?
yeah. From the projected development, but,
Students from development, not students from anything
Okay.
else.
Okay, well, so we know that today, our projected development is zero. right?
oh, that's true.
We have a couple lots. So as of today, I'm not talking about any annexation, I'm talking about today, as we're sitting here, we really, all we could really say is buildable lot, the buildable land inventory, anybody that would develop there, if there was children, 100% of those children would go to the elementary, middle, and
Mhm.
high school. It could be 1, it could be 5, it could be 0. But we have no
Yeah.
idea, we could never keep that up to date. So,
And actually, if it's built out, then we don't have any additional
We
people
don't have
going,
any
so this may be moot.
but we know we have some lots,
Mhm.
some available lots within town. It's minimal, but all we could say is, if there's any children in those, end up in those houses that would show up in those lots, 100% of those children would be targeted at least to go to those schools, they could send them to private schools. But, so I don't know, we should maybe make it easy on ourselves.
And this is the public schools.
Yeah.
That is a much easier way to do this.
Makes sense.
Now, that would certainly could change 10 years from now if you annexing property, there was a development, and then there would have to be projections. But that would probably require an update to this projection.
Okay, I will write something pretty.
Oh, not completion. Every time you have completion in Westminster, says that.
We killed those first 2 paragraphs.
Nothing, no changes to the library.
It's changed as far as plans for branch or.
Should we say the newly opened Finksburg branch or just say the Finksburg branch?
How many?
Where are you looking at? The first paragraph?
First sentence.
We killed this paragraph.
Yeah, I think we,
Well, no, I'm looking up top.
yeah, that's,
At 3 branches, and we say newly opened, I think you should say the Finksburg branch. And we should probably just say the Finksburg, the Westminster, and the Mount Airy branch.
It says the newly opened on Finksburg one on all of them.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let's not do, let's not
could you just say the?
adjective, just give the exactly. And the Mount Airy branch, perfect, yeah.
Actually, after colon, it should be capitalized, but. And we'll take out as of 2009.
Probably not a new. You know, the bookmobile, I used to see it in our neighborhood, I don't see it anymore.
Oh, we don't do bookmobiles anymore because you can do whatever, you can order something.
Yeah.
Go right up here to the library. That's right.
So the bookmobile no longer comes?
Yeah, we don't have the bookmobile, but we have,
You know, they still,
I
the
think,
library headquarters is right
I've
here.
seen it.
yeah, the bookmobile's still in,
Yeah, but that, we don't have, we don't have a need for it now because we have, 5 days a week, you can get something over here at the library.
but the bookmobile is for like camps and kids and stuff. Like my daughter-in-law's daycare, the bookmobile comes and sees them, and then they check out a book for a week or two, and then they,
Yeah.
I
And I've
guess-
seen it
yeah, it's still
drive
around.
around.
So, right, I just said, because I don't remember when.
So I would say that it makes scheduled afternoon stops
Okay.
and leave it at that, not say where they are or.
How about just scheduled stops?
I mean, reading that though, you would assume that they're talking about New Windsor.
Because we don't make stops in New Windsor, does it?
Not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore.
We should put in what Mark said, that New Windsor residents can
Okay.
Yeah.
utilize ordering and drop off or whatever we call
Yeah.
that. At the library headquarters.
So for online patrons.
We're picked up.
Access library resources. Books.
I would say order books online to be.
Wasn't a bookmobile at the
to be
Music
picked
on the
up.
Main last year? I believe it was down there in that parking lot.
Bookmobile?
Pretty sure it was at the Music on the Main.
That information might be something to add to the town newsletter, because how many people know that?
When I first came to town, that's how I got books and within months. And here it is. Library headquarters.
Well, then maybe we should put something in there about, you don't wanna just overlook the bookmobile totally.
Mm-hmm.
So if we could put something, check the library webpage for scheduling. Something like that, schedule the bookmobile visits.
Somebody has a daycare, when they can schedule.
Right, that's
I don't know
what,
if
that's
they
what
can-
Glenn's talking about, yeah.
That's pretty neat.
I think that they did that when my kids were.
Is there any discussion of computer-based library services in the Windsor area? There's not really a stuff.
Referring to the ordering of books.
Yeah.
It's already,
Yeah, I scratch that sentence and maybe we can just roll that. right
Okay.
into the file.
we have what I gave you updated.
Yeah.
Little blurb and
Do we need to include anything about the fact that it's going to be professional rather than volunteer soon, or?
That was all in what I
Okay.
gave you, I think, yeah.
Okay,
That they were in a process
yeah,
because their response, everything is not that well. We're struggling. Well, all the baby boomers will stop riding in their sixties and seventies. You gotta pay us a stress test. Trust me, I couldn't do much. I'm in my sixties, there's no way. Long passing test, the eyesight, it's a whole lot of things. Hearing, yeah. You trust me, I understand. It's a very nice physical that we get for free, but.
I don't hold up like I used to. I did a bunch of work on Saturday and came in much before afterwards.
Oh,
I did not have anything down as far as changes to the water sewer system. I have that all still there all the way up to that.
Do you have the most recent, what's the most recent?
that information.
I do not.
We ought to include that information that they gave us at the meeting earlier in the capacities.
I'll get them to put together an index.
Okay.
Send that.
Okay.
No, it's not attacking.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I missed a lot.
Wonder where that information will be incorporated in.
Yeah, and I know all these numbers were flagged to be updated as well.
Yeah, this section, water and sewer needs to be updated.
This is,
We could probably use a lot of that from what we got last meeting.
look at how many the use of the water garbage.
And then for the recreation, I have that it was unclear what access will be afforded if the New Windsor Middle School parcel conveys. Is that still true?
Yeah.
That's interesting, because if we go over 80%, we lose subsidy.
I don't know how.
I think so, but ask that
Okay.
question again when everybody's listening.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Well, and I don't know if that's something that Michelle might need to answer as well. Because I want to write it in such a way that it will remain accurate for 10 years. And I don't know what the plans are with regards to conveying the school.
I'll scan it, see if I can email it to you.
I'm sorry, Emily, say that again, please.
So the section that I have highlighted with regard to the New Windsor Middle School parcel, which I know is potentially going to be conveyed to Springdale. I'm trying to figure out how I should write that in a way that it could remain accurate for 10 years in terms of that. And I don't know, do I have it written vaguely enough?
Where is it up here?
It's what's highlighted.
Okay.
Pretty much sums up the current.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
Yeah, because they are going to, they are going to purchase it if it happens.
Yeah. But currently it is being considered
I would say it's considered being purchased.
for, purchased by,
Private
private
school.
school.
Right.
That is leasing.
So it would come out of our recreational inventory parcel if it's purchased.
Yeah, I mean, right now, because it's still county
Oh,
property,
yeah, I like that.
that's the,
Because we do have access now, suppose, right?
Yeah.
Well, we do use the fields down there, the rugby guys use.
Yeah.
Council and them.
I don't know,
Yeah.
the gym may still be used
They are in West
occasionally,
yeah, I know.
basketball and stuff,
Okay.
but that could be all bets off. You know, once it's,
Yeah.
if it was to be purchased by a private entity. Because we know there'd be a lot of liability.
Yeah.
I don't know how that would work out.
We want the county liability.
My mercenary side wants to say, oh, they'll continue to allow it as long as you sign a contract and pay the money.
There's insurance ramifications, for sure.
Yeah,
But if they can generate some income, yes, most definitely.
Like the,
For goodwill.
the group that uses the fields now from the community.
The rugby.
They have, have they got insurance? Oh, I would
Yes,
imagine.
yes.
Yeah, I
Yes,
would think
yes,
that would convey to this, if, you know, you have to show you have it.
Yeah, we didn't know anything about whether we did have a capital improvement plan. Remember this sentence, I had a big question mark next to it.
Does. Certainly do, but I mean, that's kind of what Wayne and Gary put in front of everybody, that's definitely a capital improvement plan. Think there's any advantage in putting any of that in here?
The,
Yeah, because I know, last last time I saw something was like $12, $13 million.
yeah, so I mean, the town, Gary has a projection out for 5 years of all our capital improvement projects and plans, and it's a revolving, or a moving target as we do when they fall on
Sure.
the list of things. I guess the problem I have with putting them in here is they change.
Yeah, but
They
at
change,
this
they
time,
change,
yeah.
they change, I won't say frequently, but it seems like it makes the document out of date so fast. I wonder if there's a way to put generic terms in there, and then if you need specifics, you go to the town itself.
But it gives a perspective of the issues that are out there. Like, I don't think he has one, the capital improvement plan, the replacement of the water line out to the springs.
Yeah, well, I can't say he doesn't, but I think it's on the
To me, it was-
list of
Yes,
future projects, right? We have this entire list of future projects, and some are not feasible within a 5-year scope because of other things that have to.
yeah, I struggle with this at work, and what I've evolved into is 5, 10-year capital plan. And each year, when I'll review the budget, we'll revisit that, what do we know differently? Now, obviously, we don't do this plan that often, but I think in terms of the perspective, I'm not talking about a $25,000 repaving of this parking lot over here. But we're talking about, at this point in time, I don't know, I've heard all kinds of numbers about, replacing the water line out there. I don't know, 15 million, 20 million, something like that. But again, those are estimates. That's always what happens when you're doing a projection of the capital plan. But it gives us perspective. We got $100 million worth of needs.
Well, we could certainly, I guess I could see, the benefit of having items listed in here, and listed in such a way that it doesn't look like they're 1 to 5 year things.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
We could certainly come up with that.
Is that something you think you probably have stuff in here?
I probably have stuff in mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you give it a shot with that one for us?
I would change it to 5-year plan for 6.
Or maybe not even put a time period on there, long term. Capital in general means more longer than 1 year. Capital plan. Items include.
Just do capital years into the future. Capital means years into the future.
Right, so we're looking for something that.
It does have a capital improvement plan, yes, it does. And then significant items on that plan include, maybe list 5, 7, 10 items.
Yep.
That any bird is number the next number.
I think that's 4.
No.
You get 5?
Yeah, because 4 would be anticipated financing mechanisms, which is what we're just talking about, the capital improvement plan. So you've got a sentence that says we have a CIP. There you go, right there.
Okay, so,
Well, that's it. That one right there would be 4. That you have.
okay.
And then I think rural buffers, I showed that we axed that.
Okay,
Am I right, Deb? Like, don't just listen to me.
What was like number 9?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do not have that asked, but
okay.
I don't
have
have
any
any.
notes.
I got no notes.
No, I don't.
and I have a lot of significant changes, but
I don't really have a problem with 9. You have significant changes in 9?
well, I can see off to the left that there were things done in red line, but I don't.
I mean, does the Little Pipe Creek watershed rural legacy area still exist? Yes. Okay, I didn't know.
I mean, the paragraph's pretty accurate.
Okay.
I think it's 6. We still have several farms that are in the preservation.
I think Going down the road, I don't think we heard that.
program. You know, got one here, top of the hill, it's moving, but I don't really think it's a bad thing. This is.
Did you have some, Emily?
Mhm.
You said are on the, there in the margin, the red, is there, did you tweak that?
Yeah, so
Is that something that,
you can, not significantly. It looked like a lot more than what I actually did.
more of a gram?
Yeah.
Yeah. You wanna put those back in there a second so we can glance at them?
Yeah. Let me go back up. I don't know why that,
It's a foreign language,
Yeah.
read this word. Just give me the computer thing, all that trails and.
yeah.
Oh, okay, good.
I think it's all.
Now, I know if you lay those in there, that means all the other red ones up there stay in.
Yeah.
How would you suggest, we're fine with those red ones.
Mhm. So what I can do is just you accept.
Or you gotta do it one by one.
Oh, I thought I had them highlighted that I could do it all at once, but apparently the program isn't letting me.
Yeah.
Actually, that protection is going to be the next heading, it would be 7. The
So,
rural buffers should be 6.
okay. And I'm going to turn back on simple markup so that you don't get distracted. And then this will be 7.
The protection of sensitive areas would be 7.
Where, okay.
And then the anticipated future growth would be 8.
Okay.
No,
But just have
jumping
much
ahead,
to it.
that's okay. That would be right for that.
I don't know what that one is. I got that all scratched. The town of Windsor,
All of this scratched?
wait a minute, no, I got. No, that last paragraph, I got scratched.
Okay, I've struck it.
Yeah, that's what all I had was that as well.
Okay.
I didn't know what the map was gonna be, I guess we were hoping to get one.
First sentence of the second paragraph. Yeah, well, located parcels.
question mark next to that?
Yeah, so that's the Hibbert property. That's the 10-acre parcel. It's across from the middle school or Springdale Prep School. It's kind of a little bit of a floating 10-acre. It's going to fit somewhere over there that Hibbert has an agreement that that parcel could be annexed and turned in. We've talked years ago about, there was thought there about a food line, there was thought there about a truck gas station, there was, been lots of talk, but nothing.
The Hibbard property?
It's part of the Hibbert farm, checked out. So I think his farm's in ag preservation, except this 10-acre parcel, there's a little bit of a floater right across from the school. Exactly.
Just past the school, going towards.
It's floating because
It floats when around 10 or 20 acres.
No, it floats because I think it depends what ended up going there, what would be the best layout for the parcel, whether horizontally on the road or maybe a vertical thing, and so, but it's a 10-acre parcel. And we need to keep that in there because that is starting to fade away from a lot of people's memory.
Yeah. It really is in the available property that, for.
And I just could build next to
Oh,
it.
yeah.
That's
I think commercial
micro
farms, something like that would be a little more.
That's too far, baby.
And they're tapping.
But take neon lights.
Yeah.
Cannabis distribution.
Jeez, seems like it's never gonna be annexed. Not go over well.
I don't know how you brought that back so easily, but yeah.
Yes, that's good.
Okay.
What about the first sentence in the second paragraph in that section? Anybody still have that? First, it begins with well-planned parcels. That's
Well-located parcels, we yanked that.
Okay, that whole paragraph you got?
I haven't gone yet.
Oh, it's the second sentence is from there on is what okay. That's fine.
We don't really have any tracks for surface.
So it's actually the third paragraph that's what Emily and just put back in there. And I had that scratch. Anybody else have that scratch?
What, the third?
Yeah, this one about the 10 acres.
I had that question mark next to it, I didn't have it scratched.
All right, so clearly we discussed it.
Yeah.
And we're still discussing it, and we have to, okay, that's fine. That's
So
fine.
do we change
Yeah.
Oh, okay, it just took
So
out,
that's
the year.
Yeah. So I know we certainly have discussed that. Every so often, that's mentioned.
The Hibbert process?
Yeah,
Yes,
it comes up.
yes. Comes up every handful of years.
Yeah, that's right. It's like whenever I see it. All right.
So, wait, before we get off that, Mark, you had mentioned that well-located parcel. You thought you had it scratched, Kevin.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure which parcels
Don't know what
we're talking about there. So it's talking about designated for residential uses exist within the growth area boundary contiguous to the current municipal boundary and adjacent to developments currently under construction. So the developments that are currently under construction during this plan
Maybe the
state
reserve.
Reserve.
Maybe the reserve.
So adjacent to the reserve would be what? What parcels would we be talking
Oh, you know what? That was discussion. Right out, whoever has that property from Ed, when you look out Ed's back door off his deck.
Well, the lease property, but that's already been mentioned, because that's, was taken out and put into. Ag residential.
Okay,
Right.
okay,
And which I think that was mentioned earlier.
okay. That's-
This is, but I mean, that's not.
Can't think of property.
No.
Oh, there's. Well, map 7 shows future annexations. You don't have a lot of room. What is it? Just can't see it. Got the GAB and.
You say map 7?
Yeah.
I mean, those areas where they're putting in the, solar panels.
It's out too far, right?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Everything, the bulk of it is light industrial.
Industrial, that's what
Next to
it's-
Hoover's, and then
Right.
it's shown out the old New Windsor Road, well, Pike. That's essentially already.
So, this is the reserve, right, in here. And then there's this is
Maybe
the
some.
summit. And then it's this behind.
Map I have already has those in there. This is showing like the snare, I mean, that's what. My map says.
Here's the new one.
Yeah, that's a newer map. And that was recent, that's where this, sheep farm used to be, right, creamery. And then this is all the snare. And the rest of this is all like, you know,
You think they could have been talking about Snyder's Summit?
What was the date on that, 2007?
Yeah, Snyder's Summit wasn't thought about back when this, you know,
I'm
the
trying to
old
think when
map.
that was annexed.
It was annexed before, I got it.
It was annexed in.
Yeah.
But there was, I don't think there was any talk of development. I mean, and
It would've already-
maybe that's what that paragraph is talking about, that.
Yeah.
Looking at that new map that you have, which includes Snyder Summit and
The reserves.
I don't know what else, I don't know what else.
Wait,
properties.
Come on, make him cruelty.
Oh, it was a gal before you came. Abigail, she
Yeah,
gave,
she's
she's the one that.
Yeah, she did the new maps.
And those pie charts. Yeah, they're not nowhere up in. Looks like it's. And I guess, Randolph, I'd be off. She got that from the counties, correct? She would have got that information from the county.
Yeah, that's what she did when she put those maps together. So I'm wondering, because it says adjacent to developments currently under construction. We assumed that this was
currently under construction was the reserve.
Snyder's.
Snyder's, there would have been Snyder's.
And back then, it could also have been that one that's across the street from Ames. Across from
Solar.
Yeah.
Because
no,
I
that's-
know sometime I heard that was being discussed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is.
All right, so I don't think they're there anymore.
Yeah.
All right, I just want to make sure it's right. I didn't want to confuse that.
Here's the solar, and then here's the.
So you're crossing that out?
The little white.
Crossing that thing?
Remember they had a sign up industrial? And then this is where they're putting the current solar.
Okay.
Because this is all like that, and this is all here.
All right.
Okay.
There's the tree.
We're keeping in the Hibbert.
There's
Why don't you just put from number 4, because that's what I just saw. When you say add that number, that's number
Okay.
4.
No, it's a bike trail. That's a bike trail that follows along the road. Well, no, there's a bike.
Takes us to chapter 7.
I had us leaving most of this alone,
Yeah.
quite a ways.
We got the roundabout.
Yeah, that's killing all that stuff.
You had us killing it all?
Well, like number 1. Inventory of existing mistakes.
I have an X on the number of my page, which makes me think we left it alone, but maybe we got rid of it.
Linear.
I have paragraphs on 73, 70, total 74. John.
We're in chapter 7, right?
So you have us get rid of most everything.
Could be interpreted that way.
To put X's on the numbers.
I got X's all over the place.
I just Xed out the page number, so maybe that means get rid of the whole thing instead of Xing
Yeah,
it.
I have, the only stuff I have deleted is the stuff about the linear bike and pedestrian path.
Oh, you have that being deleted?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I had.
but I don't have, everything else is just minor tweaks.
Where it talks about Blue Ridge is a short north-south, we keep
I have in there a recent upgrade. Maybe put that little blurb instead of. I mean, what,
Are we gonna,
yeah, what's that have to do?
I mean, we have the pavement there is 26 feet, not, do we want all that?
Yeah, I know it's important to me.
That's. Isn't that kind of stuff covered like in a code or?
No, I mean, no, but, I mean, it's not, no, the code lays out the code, what it's
Yeah.
supposed to be. This seems to be talking about every street
In town.
Yeah.
in the town, and I guess then I'll throw out,
Then we get to scenic byways.
do we want that in there, or, because it's probably nowhere, maybe Wayne and Gary had something in the document, because it talks about, you know, the width of pavement, curb and gutter provided without sidewalks, and talks about every road. Is that important to be in this document? So if there was a big old grant that came along to do sidewalks and improvements along, say, Lambert Avenue or something, does that have to show up in here that says it's not, it doesn't have those things?
Maybe infrastructure and improvements as they become, funding becomes available or something to that. Instead of having to put,
So what you're suggesting is maybe write this to be more general?
Well, no, I don't know. No, I'm thinking,
get rid of it.
I'm questioning whether it should stay.
and it has an inventory of information about all the streets, it seems. Is that important? Could it be important? We have the goals right at the beginning of this. One of them is promote sidewalk connections to improve pedestrian access. So it looks like this inventory of roads talks about our streets that don't have sidewalks and things like that. Could that be?
Well, it's gonna indicate that you have an interest in that, right?
Right.
Planning document. If it's not in there, somebody's gonna say, well, you really care about it, it's not even in your planning document.
I mean, if we're promoting that we want to have sidewalk connections to improve pedestrian access, could there be a benefit that if a grant came up, I could point to our comprehensive plan and say, this is one of our goals that we're trying to promote, and inside it lists the streets that don't have it, and we could get grants. I don't know.
Because
I'm just throwing this out there. I don't really know.
really right now, Blue Ridge Manor neighborhood and that, there's no really safe access to get in, to get into town. Like we do with Snyder Summit, you get that walkway comes up past the.
And we don't mention any roads in Valley Ridge or Blue Ridge Mountain.
No, it's really listing the ones in.
It's just, to me, it's kind of odd.
We have sidewalks in Blue Ridge.
Yeah, but to connect them.
So it's not connected to town, no.
Yeah, well, that's.
And do we have sidewalks all through that?
We do, but there's no,
Yeah.
you've got to walk along the shoulder of,
Yes, yeah.
and it's very, that bridge, there's no walkway. You've got
My thinking is if we're worried about like grants and stuff like that, the town probably already has an inventory of what condition and what street has what sidewalks and all that. So if they're using that, is it really necessary to document every single street in here as it exists now?
Yeah, I suppose if the town, I mean, I know the town has an inventory of pavement, and, conditions and things like that. I assume that lists all that information about no sidewalks. And we could point from that to that inventory, I think.
But it could also work in reverse too. If we're documenting all this and you're applying for a grant and they said it should have been done and it's not done, then I don't know.
That's why I'm wondering if it might make sense for me to write it a little bit more generally.
That's what I'm thinking too, instead of specific on each street.
Mark, you got thoughts? I can go to the town and find out. We have this kind of information documented somewhere else.
What I'm looking on here, all of these are in center, village center.
Right.
All mention one of the categories from the Carroll County rural functioning classification criteria.
The other good thing about this, it lists which streets have parking, no parking, parking on one side, both sides.
It's inconsistent about the sidewalks. But it is pretty consistent on the travel lanes and the width. The mentioning, I should say, is consistent with mentioning. But the state of the sidewalks is not consistent.
I go to Google Maps probably, that's.
I'm thinking Hertz having it somewhere. It'd be good if the town has it. Then we can start with that. We don't do appendices, this would be a perfect thing to have in the appendix, if anybody's interested in going back to it.
But does this classification apply to municipal?
Can you and enlighten us any on that by any chance, Randolph? Carroll County's rural function classification code here. It's on page 74.
74.
Yeah.
Might
Okay.
maybe determine anything for any, new development or something?
This is some type of, Maryland State Highway Administration. So
Yeah. And that page.
I would think yes. But then again, I don't know if towns have their own functional classifications of roads that I can think of.
Is there following street following our local system? Other than High Street and Main.
It says that in this current conditions, number one, inventory of existing state, county, and local roads. This is far from an inventory, because it's not mentioning anything from the developments.
Correct.
So they said the village center. When I look at the first goal, actually the second one, about promoting sidewalk connections, that I could understand. But it really spends more time talking about the roadways.
And then when they review High and Main Street, these measurements will be changed.
And the traffic count is significantly different in years. But I know the last one I remember, we had 7,000 cars coming down, 31 a day. I kind of find it fun reading.
Well,
Interesting, but
Yeah, yeah. You know, and very possibly, this is one of those things Michelle said, do we really need this? And we all just said, nah. That's done that a couple times, but I don't have anything saying we scratched it.
I guess when I reviewed this section, I crossed it out. In my opinion, didn't think it was necessary to have there, but
Here are the truth, so I don't know.
Local roadway. I would say, I think if it relates to making better access to developments, pedestrian in grant.
My notes are what I have actually here. So I think a lot of the inventory stuff has been taken out because I'm not seeing or finding when I do a search and find for some of the rural road designations, stuff that you were referring to.
Yeah, you have what I was talking about with the prices, with those figures for the cost.
Yeah. And then I have to change, rather than putting actual costs, to change to something along the lines of it's anticipated to be significant cost, because projecting those costs is pretty much nailing Jello to a tree.
Would we want to put something in there that would move matter, or, I mean, I don't know how much, in your neighborhood, do they walk into town, or?
I mean, as somebody who used to walk all over town, I am all in favor of making it more walkable.
Yeah.
I always thought they were supposed to put some type of trail down that hill.
The thing trouble is there any right of way between those? To say when they redid that stormwater management, in the ideal time, there's no public right of way through there that.
So,
When you develop one walk in the path, you know.
Well, we still do, what we do is you walk down Old Windsor Pike,
Right.
and then you go on the grass there until you get to
Um,
31, and then you have about
hop over
50 yards,
Hop over the
50
guard.
yards of death defying.
hop over the guardrail.
You know, it's dodging traffic.
That's why I have a car.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
It's guardrail hockey, you know.
And really, for the reserve, there's no, they don't really have a.
Roll up to where
You can cross over. and then
Yeah,
It's a wire. Because I take my dog down, I walk on the grass to the side, and then I come back around up. On we go off to the side of the grass.
So I had those
That
two
walk,
first
people,
paragraphs the
they
same way.
fly
anyway.
down that hill.
And I don't see that in here, so clearly we worked on it. And the inventory disappeared.
Yeah,
For the
All right, so you're addressing the
Traffic calming.
streetscape.
So that's.
And that's good.
Can you back up just a hair for me, please?
further?
Yes, that's what we did.
Okay.
That's the change right there.
There's no new residential units in the Atlee Ridge being built. I don't disagree with that, about the railroad crossing.
And we cross that, this is by the ATM.
I would get rid of the word newer too, since
Okay.
Atlee Ridge has been there.
We've been there 30 years.
You're still new,
Yeah.
you're not new anymore.
Yeah.
You know, Blue Ridge is not new, they've only
No.
been there for 20.
Huh?
One in Nealsdale.
Yes, well.
Neighborhood now. Construction.
Do we want to say has an opportunity to create?
I mean, the opportunity exists, it's just a matter.
I like that wording.
Okay.
You could be more forceful and say should consider creating or something like that.
That's what I was thinking as well, but that is, because that's what we're recommending they do
Yeah.
that, aren't we?
Really? Okay.
Well, if you have that in there, then if they're funding or grant money or whatever.
Tunnel or bridge?
They didn't like the bridge, because they didn't like the bridge, people climb up the bridge,
Yeah.
go stuff on the trains and.
Okay.
Less maintenance probably, the time over the bridge, right?
People sleep in tunnels.
Especially someone.
Yeah, and that line, it has second one in, right in the town.
Wherever,
So that where you got your cursor.
Okay.
Back up to 3 words.
Oh, yes.
They still do that? On the phone?
Yeah, yeah, I'll allow it.
Fine with that.
Okay, so we get to the recommended actions.
So for what it's worth, even though we didn't mark it, some of the land has all that inventory.
Okay. We must have.
So that's good.
Wasn't there talk at one time of putting a traffic circle there at Springdale and 7-Eleven?
Yeah, it was part of our original streetscape, and the price on it came in too high, and they killed it. I think it would be a great place for it.
Big fan.
Well, I think Springdale will have them consider that in the master plan. Their $100 million master plan.
They probably have.
Are you being facetious? Your humor can be so dry that I'm not sure.
No, their master plan is a $100 million master plan, 10-year plan. And they want to put down there a 800-seat auditorium.
Oh,
Not much parking.
for
That would be
concerts.
another issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, for concerts, then it's going to be an open-sized pool right next door.
See, I would push for the pool before the venue.
The 800 rooms with parking.
Because we have the town take advantage of that. What about the pool, the discount memberships and everything?
Sure,
Yeah.
that's their selling.
Because drowning isn't a liability.
Oh, but teaching people how to swim is a nice benefit to give your residents.
Yeah.
It's not at the beginning of the plan.
Oh, I understand, what they say, what they do, but I'm a big advocate of learning how to swim, so.
Well, where have you been the 68 years of my
I've
life?
been teaching it most of my own, so.
You're not thinking, I don't trust you.
Oh, yeah, I can teach anybody to swim,
Oh,
guaranteed.
Kevin, where I went to high school, we had an Olympic-sized pool. We were required to do 8 weeks of swimming a year.
Swimming pace in my time.
Southwest in Hanover.
We did that as well. It was part of our gym.
Yeah, part of our gym, yeah.
Yep. Back when I was in high school, it was still part of high school swimming too. All the city schools had pools. Some of the county pools.
None of the schools I went to, in the 8 different schools I went to in 12 years, had a pool.
We went out to Double Bridge and jumped into Old White Creek.
The Frederick
swim.
Fair enough. The Frederick County schools have a good pool system as well. Frederick County's very good one. Montgomery to a point.
Brady jumped off the river. Let me climb down and see and got the water.
I jumped.
Like it's early. Oh, they check marks. So they do.
Got off, so the inventory of the streets, we're,
Way past that.
oh,
We already had a whack.
okay.
Emily's. She had.
Scenic byways, railways, parking, that's all gone.
Yeah, we're up to recommended actions of maybe one.
Yes.
Interstate 80. I remember when you hear about one-way traffic on High Street. Church Street.
I think it'd be awesome. I
Okay.
have a note there that, still in there that says the county's community traffic safety program coordinator. Could be in that very first paragraph.
Getting rid of it just yet.
It's still there?
The appropriate county personnel.
Right with that, okay.
Because we were unsure if that was still a position.
Do we want to take county and lowercase it?
You know, I'm going to go through and look at that depending on, whether it's, because sometimes it should be and sometimes it shouldn't be. That'll be my
I'm not-
final scrub.
I don't spell well and I'm not a punctuation person, so I just when I see something, I figure I'd bring it up.
Mhm.
This is 35.
Oh,
That CPA, is that spelled out in our, do we have an acronym list?
Yes.
Okay, so that's the comprehensive planning area.
There's actually 2 CPAs, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, probably, yeah. I don't remember which one.
Well, and quite frankly, I think it would read just fine if you say within the New Windsor Street Network.
Like it.
Probably right. Generate less questions.
Maybe also have first sentence next. On the west side of New Windsor. First sentence, Atlee Ridge subdivision,
Mm-hmm.
going over, just get rid of the west side of New Windsor. That's good, let's get rid of it.
So we're suggesting that a new bridge be created.
Pedestrian bridge or?
It says recommended that a new bridge across the creek be constructed that would allow for addition of a safe pedestrian crossing.
Is that part of the
County
streetscape?
Bridge.
Is that part of the new streetscape? New bridge there?
Those streetscape doesn't go down there.
Dickerson.
not Dickinson, Dickerson, you know,
Bridge.
This county bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's good that we have it in there then. In the event that there's an opportunity to solicit county support.
At least the county comes out and sprays it with linseed oil in the fall of the year. Well, they used to, I don't think they do that anymore.
To what end?
I guess at the time it was fairly new concrete and to keep it from,
Oh, okay.
Reacting to solids, so.
I guess. I mean, it smelled like linseed oil. It was something, they haven't done that in a number of years, but they used to.
we should call and complain. Hey, wait a minute, you're not keeping up the bridge.
We already had that 30-foot restriction on High Street.
We've already, and that's in our streetscape plans as well.
Well, we already have that
Yes.
parking restriction,
Yes.
so why do we want to put it in here?
Well, we don't.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, we don't.
Okay, so what do I need to remove?
That High Street intersection with Church Street,
Okay.
I mean, additional intersection improvements. I like, yeah, well, okay, and, there, this plan says we go to 30 feet, and I think it did change 20-some years ago. Those signs got put up so that you go up to 30 feet on all 4 sections, but that additional intersection improvements, I would still like to see in that as part of the Main Street revitalization project, which is we talked about bump outs.
Yes.
Yeah, that last sentence I like, but that would look odd just leaving that sit there and say additional since we don't mention it. But,
Don't mention any
yeah, like the,
Intersection improvements should be considered.
yeah. Yeah, okay.
So as the last plans that we saw, there is bump outs at the intersections on all the corners. So we have them marked right now that people aren't supposed to park. They could obviously still do it. So the bump outs will keep it. It also necks down the road, so it supposedly slows traffic down when you do that. And then we're also going to have pedestrian crossings. And I'm pushing for not just hash marks, maybe, you know, how they do like a brick look or something that really looks, really stands out. So we'll see where it ends up, but that's.
You could do that with just the paving, just put a pattern on it and paint it.
I don't expect them to put brick in there, they can.
Yep.
Yep.
Funding in the confirmed then for?
Well,
Or so.
it sounded like we have funding for the things that we require. We have not seen the final plans that show all that. So, we'll see.
I have for the parks and local circulation, CMAP 7
Okay,
is what I have written next to my notes. I don't know what
Yeah,
you
that
guys.
might be the old map.
Oh, now,
This is where Drew comes in.
okay.
That's the new one.
So 7?
Seven's a new one?
Well, no, I don't have maps in my,
Do they know that now?
Yeah, that's a new map.
yeah, but
Your new map is.
Yeah, down
it says
lower.
New Windsor Parks. Is that what it?
Yeah, there's something in there. We had one.
It has the parks. I think it has also the new one up here in the corner.
Yeah, there it is on map,
Yeah.
it is map 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So map 7. Drat you one drive.
Until we read 5. I'm down to investigate employee traffic calming operation.
You have to be kept all that other stuff?
Yeah. Well, I put it this way, I don't see any notes or writing there, it got scratched out.
I got the linear park.
I have it.
I got that marked out too.
Yeah.
Linear bicycle park crossing.
yeah, no, I have nothing for linear park.
Hierarchy goes straight on the parks, that was fixed out.
renewing efforts, that's Xed out. Consider the impact of that Xed out. And then I have it, investigate and employ traffic calming act, that
kept, whenever possible, the township would encourage pedestrian facilities such as sidewalks. And a trail is part of the development review process.
Yeah, that's it.
I had the investigate and employ traffic calming options, where we say to consider traffic calming devices. I had such as, just 3 or 4 of them. Right there, investigate and employ traffic calming.
I don't have anything written there.
I have checking that we wanted to keep it, but include in that policy some types of traffic calming. I don't have it, what
Which
they
is
are.
what Mark put in.
Yeah, I got physical impediments, bump outs, lines, and one-way traffic. Examples and considerations.
Bump outs, one word or two?
Good question. I think it's 2. Yeah, there it is. It's 2.
Okay.
So before you move though. At the top, continue efforts to implement.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the 2002 references,
I haven't, we kept that in there.
Where is that? I'm not finding it.
You're right, I don't have either.
I don't see it in the old.
let me see if it's something that we added new.
Under 3, renewed efforts to implement the Maryland 31. Renewed efforts to implement the
Yep.
Maryland 31 and Maryland 75 streetscape plan. That's where that.
Oh, so we changed from renew to continue.
Well, okay, so that's the, well, yeah, so continue is the right word, that's what we're working on right now. And I think that first sentence goes away with construction.
Yeah.
High Street. And that's been it.
Want to take that away or say that was, because that wasn't part of the initial streetscape?
No.
Because I heard that
Goes
before.
down Main Street.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was,
Okay.
for the.
Okay, so that was
Towns
part
shall
of it.
pursue, well, I mean,
20 years ago.
should pursue further discussions. So, well, we're working with them, we're not pursuing discussions, we are
Continues to.
continuing to
Or
work.
they got pursue, or this further.
There's no discussions, we're working with them,
Yeah.
we've got plans, we're moving forward with plans. Not on the status, well,
I would say out of funding, but status for the Main Street revitalization program.
Finalization. Consensus on. Finalization.
and so that whole
How
thing
about the
is,
final one?
that whole thing was about the town trying to kick the program back
Yes,
off.
exactly.
We're not doing that, we're already working the program. So we just need to continue with the.
Is continuing to work with SHA.
On the streetscape revitalization program. Okay, that's what we're doing. And that includes the plans, the funding, the whole thing, the street light, all
Or just end after,
yes.
right after a program, just period.
Revitalization program.
I would say is continuing, not should.
Oh, I like should.
that's our planning thing. We wanna make sure the town
Okay.
continues to work. We don't want anybody dropping.
Better. I mean, it's been 2 years since, at least 2 years since, I got word that they're gonna be doing it, and you've been discussing, negotiating. And I bet you if there was a response. Wow.
All went well whenever these guys were done with our water line project, the state started on their part. That was our goal.
Now that next paragraph, are they following those guidelines for the improvements? I guess with the state pilot. But to me, that's something, that's the state's. Put it in there.
Well, I think that it isn't coming through town here part of the scenic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
So state highway is already, that's their road, that's their concern. We're already part of that, so we want to promote that. That's on maps and stuff that they give away. Scenic like that. Coming through town. I think it should stay there, but we don't really have states on it.
Yeah.
That would give us more level to make it want to do something. It doesn't meet our needs. Wait a minute.
Had we left that alone, the explore cost sharing agreement.
I had a note there that says, does the county do this? I mean, I don't have,
Yeah, I don't know how we,
I don't know, I haven't seen the county throwing any money for our local roads, you know, they didn't cost share anything with any of that stuff, that's all on our nickel.
So then do we want to pull it out?
Well, I don't know if they're talking about local transportation projects.
I mean, from my perspective, I see no reason why you shouldn't say, hey, county, pick some of this up, but that doesn't mean the county's going to.
I mean, I don't think it hurts to have that there.
Mhm.
I just asked the question, does the county even do that? 'Cause you know, if they don't do that, then there's no
Yeah,
use
they're
having
not
it
gonna
there.
give us a
If
lower
they
baseline.
do that on some occasions, then it's worthy of having there because it could be a tickler to, hey, let's see if the county will throw some money at it because there's a benefit,
Yeah,
you know,
I mean-
having, you know, whatever, the road in great
Yeah.
shape because
Build it down.
you know, well, for instance, I guess the 911 call centers here, right? Right, the guy's 911 call center, if we had some kind of major road work that was New Windsor's around that building somewhere, hey man, if you guys threw in some funds, your employees that get to this 911 center, you know, have an easier time getting here or whatever, we could, you know, ask the question.
I would think anything that would kind of encourage or can be used for leverage for getting funding, you know, should be kind of lumped in there.
Yeah, I agree. Or even if the middle school turned back into a middle school,
Yeah.
right?
You know, yeah.
I mean, well, I don't think it hurts to have it.
You know, it's-
have any. We have a state road that comes through 31, and everything else is town.
Right, we don't have any county roads in the town, but we have roads that we have town roads that may be beneficial for the county to throw money at or low interest roads at for us to keep them, they can make improvements to or something.
How about Springdale Road? Is that a county road?
Springdale Road, once they
Probably
Which
around.
crosses Red.
Or out,
after it hits Brown, I think it is.
Part of it. I think where the water tower is New Windsor's, so where it's improved, where it gets wider, that's county, I think.
So,
Because I've seen them pave
Yeah,
some of it.
yeah.
It's kind of funny, they'll do Old New Windsor down and then they'll skip the near road and then do this. And then-
Just, there's no way any of these documents.
No.
Legitimate.
no, they should all come out. We can't have that.
it's not a realistic number anyway.
Too high.
Don't forget
Yeah,
how.
yeah.
Too high, way too high.
I can't figure
Man,
out
you can
how
build a road for so much less
than
than
worded. I thought that-
875,000 for a
There we
bridge.
go.
Come on.
It's been that planning that for.
I can sell you a bridge for a lot less than
Yeah.
875.
I'm going to Lowe's to get some 6x6s.
Yeah, you can cross that out. 3-foot sidewalks, the whole bit.
Anyway, sidewalks have to be 5 foot wide,
5 foot, yeah.
80 acre wide.
Yeah,
So they're not
I'm
gonna
very
make
much
it
aware of that, yes.
It's wider and wider.
Make it wider.
Keep getting
Well, we finished chapter 7. We also finished when I got to formatting, and I think we're just at 8.
Nice planning.
All right, we're not doing any more tonight.
8.
So I will get some more formatting done, clean some of this up, and get you a new draft this weekend.
Nice. Forget that. Slowly I turn. Step I turn. Each fight.
You can't read it.
And I'm just going back to my comfortable chair. Those chairs are horrible.
That's, dude, now I know why they're uncomfortable to get people to leave.
I know Dave Drayson's answer to this, because I feel the same way. Think there's any advantage if I get a print of this first 7 chapters to have in hand to look at? Or is everybody just comfortable if you get it?
I'm comfortable reading electronically.
You're fine electronic? You're fine electronic?
I can do it. I can do it.
Okay.
I would probably not want to spend money, me personally, for me, until maybe we're almost done with it. And
Do
then
the
I
whole
would,
thing and-
then I would do the
Well, I
whole,
was just thinking is do
Yeah.
this first part.
Yeah.
That's that, yeah.
that's about half.
And
You,
then
you,
do the second part, and then that way we can be kind of looking at that. while
Could.
it's still rolling.
we could. It's certainly, obviously easier for me to review and make notes on, instead of making them on a separate piece of paper and trying to.
Well, I will, from a distance, ask Gary and Dana, because, I mean,
Yeah.
We're talking about a reading paper,
Right.
but I think it would be a benefit to have that. So, in the next week or so, you think you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. And I'll put it in the printer and let everybody know you don't want one.
I don't need a printed copy, no.
I'm sorry.
Oh, there you go, Dave. Right?
It's just
It's too small. If you print it, it's gonna be, I'm gonna need to make it bigger to read anyway, so.
Yeah, oh, yes.
Hey, I do
You got
too.
that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like it too.
Okay.
Wait, there's the generational digital analog divide.
Absolutely,
Slightly.
yeah. Absolutely, it's driving me crazy looking at them, because I got stuff I wanna give you, but it's,
Yeah.
how do I get it?
See, I can do digital, but I actually, when I write, I still have to do it longhand and then transcribe it.
I go to DC to print stuff that I can work on, that's the only time I was in the office. when I was stuff I print.
Okay,
Alrighty,
so this has been saved. I'm going to unplug.
Save your plugs, so you have it for next time.
Oh, it's not mine. It's Williams.
next meeting is August 26th, Monday at 6. And then the next one after that is the 23rd. National Night Out's coming up, August 6th. I think it's like 6 to 8, isn't it?
Yes.
Like that, yeah. Any other announcements?
Crab feed, September the 14th, 5 to 8 at the firehouse.
I always miss that. I think I'm around.
September the 14th.
How much is that?
That's a Friday?
It's a Saturday.
Saturday?
6 day person, all you can eat. Crabs, fried chicken.
And there's fried chicken.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we're gonna have pit beef or?
No,
No.
I thought no.
Beer.
Yeah, beer,
Yeah.
Beer.
corn on the cob.
All you can eat and drink. You gotta throw that in there.
So, I believe that, well, speaking of the Hoff annexation, that it is in the planning commission's court to, if we want to invite them to a meeting to discuss the situation.
It is?
I believe so.
Oh, okay, I thought it was that.
They sent, I believe they sent a letter to the town and to the planning commission requesting that they be included in the master plan.
Okay, I don't recall having seen that, but it might have been one.
Right, so that was what sparked the,
Can you send me what you think? Do you have?
Uh,
Yeah. I would like to see
yes,
that.
so I was under the impression that if the planning commission, that's why we tried to get Michelle in here so we could all get on the same page, right? That it would be us to invite them to a meeting to, if we wanted to discuss their plans, to see what they had in mind, not to talk about we're gonna include you or not include you, just so we could hear from them what they think. Okay, so I believe that's in our court to do that, because they did send in a letter to the town and the planning commission requesting. And I was concerned that we may do that in August, because I am not gonna be at the next meeting. So I definitely want to be here if and when we do that. So it won't be next month then, if it's okay.
There is something that, because I'm not seeing that. I've had terrible trouble getting my town email.
Okay,
So
I will,
I don't recall having seen that. I know there's been discussion about this, that they had said something to Gary.
okay, I will,
Haven't seen it.
send you what I think might explain that.
Sure, okay. Well, I mean, certainly, if they have asked, of course.
Well, I think that we, as a group, want to make sure that we understand
So
what
this one's here.
we want to hear, right? What we and then have them come, so we're not sidetracked and do anything
The other
crazy.
large group, though, that if they have
Printed it out.
to the town. So, okay, now that's good. So they made a request.
The rest of that is on the back. On the back.
I wasn't aware, but that doesn't.
Okay.
Pull that paper clip, see there's the rest of that.
Thanks for bringing that up, 'cause
Yeah.
sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
As you know, there have been other discussions.
I haven't seen this.
We were just kind of kicking around. I know there was that thing off in the
Senate, he was
there was the thing.
under the weather.
Here with somebody wanting to
He
bring
was the acting chairman.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense, yeah.
There's always.
But,
So you might want to tell Mark that it came to you, and he says he's never seen it either.
I'll forward what
Yeah, thank you.
I have to
He has it.
keep that on our radar.
That's probably been sitting out there for a couple of months.
No, I think it was just, it was part of that whole,
Yeah, right.
process that stimulated the dual meeting.
I think it's when you were under the weather and it was,
Yeah.
Drew was acting as chairman.
Yeah.
There's the rest of the
Yeah.
exhibits and.
Yeah, and
Did you get that?
so it was sent to the mayor and the council. Now, when we met with them, I thought it was clear.
When we met with,
I'm sorry, you weren't there. I didn't mean. But it was Gary, Neil, Wayne, and I met with the office. And at that time, it was said that if they wanted to move forward, they would send something to the planning commission.
so
And so this was sent to the town. Okay, get it.
argued
That's
that point
initial.
a little bit with the town staff,
Uh-huh.
and then they informed me that the letter was to mayor, town council, and the planning commission.
I don't, oh, is it?
So that was their,
Yeah, it says to the town, and then it does have town, the ones with planning and zoning.
Yeah.
So,
yes.
yep, okay.
So I think they did do that, and it's now, I think, in our courts.
Absolutely.
And I tried to make the council aware that I want the planning commission to be up to speed as much as possible on all that, and that's why we had that dual meeting with the town council to understand the annexation process from Michelle and to understand the water and sewer issues that the town has as well.
I feel bad about being behind them because, yeah, it was made clear to them, and it was in, and so they're doing it. They're doing what they was said to them 6 months ago. So maybe June, July, so it's been 2 months. I will get back to Ms. Brophy, since she's the one making this. Absolutely.
You want to keep that if you want?
Sure, I was gonna-
Yeah, I'll say it was emailed to me and,
Yeah, that's what I would send you, so you got it, okay.
print another one out.
Okay, thank you. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
just- so.
You had that.
Let me face it instead of being my back to everybody. Oh, I'm sorry, Dave, I took your chair, didn't I? No wonder you can't go back. So I won't belabor this, but I will take just a couple minutes just to kind of explain the sequence on this to everybody. The Hoffs, and I think I did bring it to our group here, I want to say 6, 8 months ago, they came, and there was an informal meeting back here. Town manager Dye, Mayor Roop, pretty sure Wayne was there, and the Hoffs made a kind of an exploratory discussion with us. They were thinking of coming to the town, of wanting to have us annex some property. And looking around at our group, and I know we've had discussions of the Hibbert property, but that hasn't been annexed. And I'm not, and you've been on longer than me, but I'm not aware that we've gone through an annex process. So not really know, and there had been a period of time I was not aware that this had come in, or I missed it. So I will reach out, and they're out there. I apologize that I haven't. But they have now taken the step to say that they want to be considered, and we'll ask them to come and talk with us. And Michelle explained last time, that's why we had the meeting. And if you're not able to find it online, and I've got some notes, but we can talk. And I think all the rest of us were here, so we heard from Michelle somewhat the process that we would need to go through. This property is, of course, it's not in the town, it's not in the growth area boundary. So, but they will come and present to us what it is that they're thinking and would like to do. And then we would have our discussions about whether we would expand and put in to the plan to expand the growth area and the growth area boundary. So they could be then, annexed into the town. That's our choice. And then it's also the town council's choice whether they would accept the comprehensive plan that would have that expanded growth area boundary along with everything else in there. So that was part of what we discussed at the last meeting. And Michelle, laid that out for us. And I think,
Yeah, so
did I miss anything?
just to be clear, they did not ask to be annexed. They asked to be included in the growth area
Yes.
boundary.
Yes.
As you all know, before you can be annexed, you have to be in the growth area boundary. So they asked to be put in the growth area boundary, not to be annexed. So there's that's a whole different, what did Michelle tell us, a statutory process?
Yep, so, it's a whole different process.
Whole different process.
Yep.
But the growth area boundary is us.
Yep, so that's the kind of the first step. That's right now, I guess the property's considered in the county.
Yes.
Right. So, we would have to change the plan and make that decision if to expand the growth area boundary. And then, once that, they were in that, then they would come to the town and ask to be annexed. But, we're moving, in that, potentially moving in that direction. So, we want to obviously give them an opportunity to tell us what they want, but that's good. I'm kind of glad to see that this is kind of moving, because we just always have these things that are floating out there forever, and then they kind of disappear. So this one isn't. Okay, good. Okay. Anything else that I may have missed? All right. So, did announcements. Anybody else have any thoughts, questions, comments? Okay. Got to get a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
Okay, motion by Dave Grayson, seconded by Kevin. Sorry, my left ear was stronger. All in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Good. Ayes have it. Oh, good.
Have it.
Thank you all for meeting.
I would oppose the ending of a meeting